Hello everyone, let's begin where we left off. After the Eiffel Tower, I went back to have dinner at my favorite Italian restaurant in Paris. Well, for pizza that is, and to meet up with Dad.
Hello again.
Now tomorrow's going to be a very busy day, and I'm going to go to a lot of places. Do you want to join me? Well, it's morning time and I'm walking to the train. It is so cold. I don't know if you can see my breath, but good thing you can't smell my breath. Well, this is the College of France, the Sorbonne. It's a beautiful building, a lot of statues and things like that in front of it, so I always walk by it. I want to show it to you. Now, my trek today to the train station would take me through an area of Paris known as the Latin Quarter. It's probably the most popular amongst the tourists, and everyone seems to go there. You can tell you're in the Latin Quarter because it's usually very narrow streets of small storefronts and cafes, all selling pitas and falafels and crepes. There's lots of tour groups and all the knickknacks and postcards you could possibly want, and if you're looking for a dinner with a prefixed menu, well, you'd find that here too. Now, as I left the Latin Quarter, I saw a very large line, and I couldn't figure out what it was that everyone was waiting for. Was it a museum? I wonder what it could be. How about Notre Dom? Completed in 1345 after nearly 200 years of construction, this Catholic cathedral is visited by over 13 million people a year. Its facade is probably the most photographed of all of Paris. It's built in the Gothic style, which is beautiful to behold. It's a great location to have photos taken, if you don't mind the birds. It's a little-known fact that the cathedral is the center of Paris. Actually, there's a plaque in front of it that marks exactly that. It's called Point Zero, and if you're a nerd like me, you just have to stand on it to say you were there. But don't worry, so does everybody else. Well, the sun came out, which is a good thing, but I've had to put on my hat and gloves and bundle up, and it is cold. So I'm going to move on and see something else, but you can come with me. I hope you enjoyed this brief visit of Notre Dame. Another interesting place to visit is this bookstore, Shakespeare & Company. It's not only a great place to find a book, but if you're an actor or a poet or any sort of artist, you can stay here for free. Rent-free, just for work, and over 30,000 people have stayed here amongst its bookshelves. It's a popular destination for tour groups, and there's usually an artist playing out front. What a great time I've had in France. That tower back there is 100% French. It's wonderful to see the Parisian culture in action. But before I go, I want to see a place that has a mixture of American and Parisian. It's called Disneyland Paris. One of the first things you notice here at Paris Disneyland, that right behind the Flower Mickey is a giant hotel. It's the Disneyland Hotel, and you have to walk underneath it to get to Town Square. If you're staying in the hotel, though, you don't have that far to walk. Originally opened in 1992 as Euro Disney, the park is one of the most detailed of all Disney parks. Unfortunately, the park had a rocky start in the 90s, and Disney slowly sold its share. My visit to the park actually came a few months before Disney happily announced it had purchased back the park and was investing billions. I was about to see the changes about to start. One design element that was unique to a Disney park at the time was an enclosed side alley to Main Street. This allowed guests to shop the stores without having to go outside, and also acted as an overflow pass-through. Actually, the parks were pretty empty at the time, but that's all going to change now. With the capability of a water show in its moat, this version of Sleeping Beauty's castle is the most faithful compared to its movie version. Unique to it is a mysterious cave beneath it, complete with restless dragon. Unfortunately, it was under renovation, and I'd soon find out that most everything was under renovation, so my goal now was to find something on the east side that was working. And then I remembered there was a unique submarine walkthrough that I always like to visit.
Got a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two, about the flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. A whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo.
Welcome aboard the Submarine Nautilus. You will see the Academy Award-winning motion picture sets actually used in filming Walt Disney's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Here, Captain Nemo entertained his guests at the organ. Through the starboard viewing port, you see the giant squid, which was actually used in the movie. The squid attacked the Nautilus with its 70-foot tentacles and almost killed Captain Nemo.
I found out that Star Tours was closed, and even the mighty Autopia, so that didn't work out too well. So I had to set out on foot, and I was going to find an attraction that was open one way or the other. I was headed to my favorite place in the park. It was on the west side. That's where all the adventure is, I think. Well, I'm on the other side of the river from Big Thunder, and with all that moaning and groaning that you're hearing, we must be in Boot Hill, which is at the base of Phantom Manor. Phantom Manor is similar to the Haunted Mansion in the States. It's just more of an American Western take on it. It even looks like the Psycho House a little bit, but this one has the Phantom.
Actually, we have 999 happy homes here.
Oddly enough, I love this park, but everything seems to be broken right now. Big Thunder's shut down, the Pirates is out, Space Mountain is out. It hasn't been good, so I'm going to go over to the next park, which is the Walt Disney Studios, and see how we're doing over there. Well, let's go inside the Walt Disney Studios. Everybody seems to be coming out the other way because it's close to closing and it's cold. Soundstage 1 is actually a food court, so it's heated in there, and that's the entrance to the park. I hear music from Star Trek, The Rocketeer, all different types of music, so it's a celebration of cinema here, and also you'll find other attractions from around the world. It's kind of an interesting park, so let's go in.
Welcome, I am Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger.
When a bistro has a name like Chez Remy, you know it has to involve Ratatouille. And Ratatouille was a Pixar film a few years back, and this attraction is based on that. It's exclusive to the Walt Disney Studios here in Paris, so you have to come here if you want to ride it. But there is rumors it's going to pop up elsewhere. It's pretty fun. You ride little mice and it takes you all over. Well, let's just go on it and check it out.
peut cuisiner, mais personne ne cuisine comme.
Hey, thanks for coming, everyone. Vous serez toujours les bienvenus chez Rémi. À bientôt et venez rassembler vos affaires et descendre.
Since the Disney company has announced the repurchasing of the Disneyland Paris resort, they've also announced their intentions to invest heavily in the Disney studios. Here's an artist's conception of it. It's in the back where the lake is, and there'll be a Star Wars land and 2 other themed areas. We're walking towards the downtown Disney area. I think it's called Disney Festival. I'm not sure. But it's in the direction of where I want to go, which is the train station. My next goal was to get back to the hotel to meet up with Dad to go to a restaurant. There's an elevator that's very small, and my father has been in this for what, 50 years?
50 years. I'll open up the door.
Okay.
You have to ring for it to come up.
Takes a while, so we'll see what happens. Okay. Can you
See you in the mirror.
It is so tight.
It is tight. Yeah.
Oh, now it's time for us to head out. Okay, we are walking down the street, and we're going to make a quick left turn up here. We will see this restaurant in a moment.
What is it called?
It's called Ku Chow.